says that Rey Mysterio gets a title shot because he didn't lose the belt. So Brian should get a title shot, right? Because he never lost the belt either.
By that logic, yeah. And on the other hand, I mean, hey, Daniel Bryan, instead of asking for a title rematch that he thinks he might deserve, no, I'm going to enter the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And now here's Tyler Warner and Wayne Kirch.
Yeah, here in the Great Wrestling Debate to break down the good, the bad, and the ugly, as always, every week on
a lot of ugly.
Monday Night.
A lot of ugly.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, last week we definitely, we had a lot of criticisms to start things off, and the first Raw of the year and everything, and how they're building up to the Royal Rumble here with, now it's one more Monday Night Raw to go.
Yeah.
After this past week, and
it's special. It's a reunion show, Tyler.
Yeah.
A reunion show
and everything else, but yeah, I mean, anyways, I mean, I guess we'll talk about what happened on Raw this past week, and maybe even a little some of SmackDown from last week. But I guess starting off with Raw this past, you had John Cena coming out, and I guess kind of one of his typical promos after last week, the confetti dropping down and all the goofy music for him last week, but he kind of comes out and it's like he's trying to start another party, and this time at New Orleans, and then eventually the Authority comes out, and so they kind of have their typical opening promo there
that goes probably 30 minutes long.
Yeah. So I don't know, it's kind of much of the same thing, but the Authority kind of, especially like Triple H, kind of, I guess, making John Cena out to be a guy who doesn't fulfill his promises, and that the Authority, I guess, technically does. They fired everybody who was who sided with John Cena at Survivor Series. Obviously not counting Big Show since he did his heel turn there, but so yeah, now it's about Mr. Hustle, Loyalty, and Broken Promises, as Triple H was calling him later on in the show.
Did John Cena threaten that if he won the belt, he was gonna sit at home?
Yeah, it was something odd like that. And
so John Cena has heard of Brock Lesnar, right?
Yeah.
Hasn't Brock Lesnar done the same thing?
Yeah.
So that's a hell of a threat there, John.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do what Brock Lesnar did, just sit at home.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You don't have a world champion anymore.
Yeah. And I'm hearing now people, speaking of Lesnar, complaining about how Lesnar's in this commercial. He doesn't have to leave home to shoot it. They just use old footage of him in the Triple H's office destroying it, and they just kind of they kind of computerize everything else. It's one of those.
He's not a people person.
Yeah, but it's just funny how like people were like ripping Brock, like just seeing like comments on people posting the commercial, and like, oh, he doesn't not only to defend the belt, he doesn't even have to leave his house, but to do a commercial, they just reuse footage of him destroying Triple H's office, and he doesn't even have to leave his house to go shoot it and make all this money. And it's what can I tell you? I guess the guy's a draw and whatever, but
yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, Cena, I guess, threatening to sit at home with the belt and if he wins it and everything else. And I don't know, but yeah, that was I guess that was basically the opening. They said that John Cena had to win his match against Seth Rollins to, I guess, bring back who the Authority fired last week on Raw. So kind of.
Yes, exactly. The opening match of Raw. The opening match of Raw.
Yeah.
Has this like big angle attached to it.
Yeah.
Then we're just gonna like fix it 1 week.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I guess eventually we'll see where these where Ryback and Rowan.
Supposedly all three are going to be in the Rumble match.
I would imagine.
I mean, because they're really taking the firing they're firing seriously. Obviously, Dolph Ziggler did a comedic Photoshop on his Twitter account where he's like, well, WWE doesn't want me anymore. This other location I can go and then post a Photoshop picture of him next to the Destination America logo with
Yeah.
Impact on the side.
Yeah, I saw. I saw like a little like Ryback WWE exclusive last week or something. With Renee Young it appears like Ryback was like the building or whatever, and somewhat of I guess an emotional ride. Because of course a few weeks ago Ryback had that promo where he almost had his dreams taken away and everything, and he fought to be back in the ring and everything, and kind of the same angle there, kind of saying how now he's got the big guy's going home is what he said.
Well, I mean, look, for me, the biggest thing of having these guys fired is, Ryback's whole feud with Rusev just stops all of a sudden.
Right, yeah, and they kind of pointed that out a little later on.
I mean, look, then again, you could also make the argument that maybe they're just saving their match for Mania just so Ryback can pin Rusev there. And
that's true.
Instead of just, having him go through this, multiple matches at the Rumble and so on.
Yeah, so. But yeah, that was basically that, and then of course Eric Rowan you didn't hear anything from as far as
actually when I remember they did like a WWE like .com poll on that about who do you miss the most, and like Ziggler I think was at like 60%, Ryback was at 35%, and Eric Rowan was at 7%.
Yeah, not a surprise, but
all the guy has is a sheet mask. That's all he has. His promo skills are equivalent to a one word pretty much.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it was kind of like, again, it was like Triple H saying, we had to fire those guys because it was like we promised we would, and unlike you see, Cena, you don't keep your promises. So it was kind of a Triple H playing into the mind there of John Cena and everything, and I guess everybody, and so and then Cena's supposed to take the blame for it, and then he's supposed to be responsible as to whether or not the Authority brings them back in that match, and they made it a lumberjack match.
Oh, he
of course, of course, once you saw like all these guys coming out, Titus O'Neil and Big Show and whoever else was out there, you kind of knew like, this is the deck is stacked here against Cena, and it's all heels as the
Lumberjacks. Hasn't stopped him before though from winning a match.
Right? Yeah. You never know, but it's just like already you knew that they were gonna attack Cena and everything, and of course not only that, you had Big Show standing on the one side of the ring all by himself, while the other so you knew at some point he was gonna get an open space and deliver a knockout blow, and surely enough later on in the match, something like that would happen, and Seth Rollins would win the match here, and I mean, not a huge surprise there, I guess, and no Ryback, no Ziggler, and no Rowan brought back that night or whatever.
Yep.
Yet, so that remains to be seen, I guess. But that was I guess the beginning to Monday Night Raw there, the first couple segments there, with John Cena and the Authority and Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
Now after that, forget what you had. Trying to get the order right. Well, first of all, no Bad News Barrett, I noticed.
Well, he was one of the Lumberjacks, I know that.
But oh yeah, he was. I didn't even notice that. He kind of blended. But other than that, I mean, new Intercontinental Champion. I don't know, not too big of a part there, I guess. But
well, he's gonna be in the Rumble match, you know that.
Yeah. I guess you had the New Day coming out for a short match.
Yes, they beat Cesaro and Kid Tag Team.
Yeah. I don't know. Not much to note there, but
yeah, I actually someone said actually starting to just call the New Day the Blue Team since the only word is blue anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense, but. The Blue Day. I don't know. You can call it that too. I guess you can combine the two. I don't know, but I guess not long after that. I'm not sure about the order here, but you had Big Show out in the ring
cutting a promo.
Yeah, to
his
to
rambling promo.
boring chants and
Yes.
which I continue to point out. It seems like whenever he's in the ring, whatever he's doing, and the fans are chanting boring, whether he's talking or whether he's wrestling in the ring. Especially like Roman Reigns as of late, the guys he's been facing in the ring.
I'm telling you, this a lot of things not helping Reigns right now. One's his promos, and the other one's just beating with Big Show to the Rumble.
Yeah.
There's nobody else on the roster
yeah.
for this guy to go after. Nobody
Yeah.
else.
Now, now as far as promos go, of course, because Roman Reigns would interrupt that promo, but
yeah,
I guess going back to SmackDown, you saw that. It seems like you saw that promo, right?
It's been kind of trending. It's kind of been turning into a Vine even.
Yeah. Interrupting Seth Rollins and there was
going
the suffering succotash line.
Yeah, quoting Sylvester the freaking cat.
Yeah. I don't.
What,
and then
it makes you wonder what other cartoon characters that I used to watch when I was 12 would go next. Bugs Bunny, What's Up, Doc? Maybe Daffy Duck. Yeah, despicable.
Yeah.
And maybe Porky Pig. Believe that.
Yeah. And then like after he says the tongue twister of a line, he like looks into the camera and winks and.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He breaks the fourth wall now. He's breaking the fourth wall, and I love how there's some people that are trying to say, no, that was a wink to the IWC audience.
Yeah, to the IWC.
No, it wasn't.
To show off his promo skills. I don't know. And then
he was told to wink at the camera. He winked directly at a camera. He knows.
Yeah.
He was told wink in that direction because that's where a camera's gonna be.
Yeah.
This whole idea that Roman's is all of a sudden going to get unleashed here, no pun intended, for his promos is laughable right now. He needs help.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm convinced now, after watching tonight, because then we get to the Daniel Bryan stuff here too, as well. No, let's keep talking about Roman Reigns here, because let's talk about this promo this week now.
Yeah.
Where it was kind of okay until he brought up Jack the Beanstalk, and then much of the audience, I stopped giving a shit about what was coming out of his mouth after that.
Yeah, it was like Roman and the Beanstalk. It was. It was. I don't know. These past couple promos are like, some of the goofiest you ever see. Like, it seems like
it's almost like no one gives a fuck.
Yeah. Now supposedly, there's a report out that Vince McMahon is writing these promos as of late for Roman Reigns, and it's like, well, if that's the case, then somebody else needs to get writing these promos or whatever. Because, I mean, you go Jack and the Beanstalk, or Roman and the Beanstalk and Suffering Succotash last week on SmackDown.
Yeah,
I mean, and some people were saying like they sound like promos that Cena would cut too. I guess with the
do not make this guy John Cena.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if there's any plus, I mean, I guess it's that with this material, I guess Roman's doing I guess he's executing it okay, but it's like weak material here, and I guess doesn't fit for Roman Reigns to be out there saying to Seth Rollins, suffering succotash, and this is the guy that betrayed the Shield and everything, and
yeah,
I gotta do better than that.
No, but it's just it doesn't come across as a Roman Reigns promo. It comes across as a WWE fed Roman Reigns promo, pretty much. None of what he's been saying here comes across as like this is something that actually this guy would say in real life.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, once again here, you see, we get our personal vibe back here. We can't do this with Roman Reigns, just him go out and actually just wing it, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like you said, like before he got into the Roman and the Beanstalk part, I mean, the promo was going pretty well.
Yeah, then you had Roman and the Beanstalk, and all of a sudden the crowd just started shitting on him. Because all of a sudden it's like, no. We don't want to hear this shit again.
Then they have to throw that in. Like, it's a shame. Like, it seemed like we were really onto a good promo there out of Roman Reigns, but but as far as the writing goes as well, but then they have that, and it's like, man, like this is like WWE creative or Vince McMahon. His fingerprints all over it, all over that script, and yeah, it just didn't turn into a great promo as far as lasting impression goes. But
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, Big Show flees the ring and everything, and that was pretty much that. And yeah, you brought up Daniel Bryan, who was also on Raw this past night. Another important promo.
No, but the key thing was the crowd reaction and what they were
Yeah.
saying, what they were not saying. Because for how long I've heard people on the internet saying, "Well, it's the chants that are over, not the guy."
Yeah.
Well, I heard Daniel Bryan chants, not yes chants.
Yeah.
So don't tell me now the guy doesn't have a following or a crowd reaction when he comes out of that.
Yeah.
And don't tell me the guy can't cut good promos now, because right now his promo work's been 10 times better than anything that's come out of Reigns' mouth in that. So I don't hear, he's the generic promo guy too in that. I don't know. They come off better and more believable.
Yeah.
So I mean, once again here, I am convinced now that right now Bryan, they're stupid now not to have Bryan win the Rumble right now.
Yeah, I mean,
they're just stupid again. They're just stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid. I was holding this back for so long, thinking Reigns could turn me around right now. Reigns is not ready.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
if you want to have Batista 2.0, go ahead, go for it.
Yeah.
But he has no shot at Philly. Reigns has no shot at winning a crowd over in Philly.
Yeah, it's not with these promos either. I mean,
these promos aren't even helping him out here.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's probably more on WWE right now to, that they're giving him this kind of material, but, that's what it is right now, and it's unfortunately, might come back to bite Roman Reigns in Philly, and if he's the guy they're going with.
I mean, like I said, they might say, "Oh, it might just be a Philly thing," because I'll be fair. He did get kind of a strong reaction when he wrestled Luke Harper also that night. So the guy still has a kind of a following behind him there too. Granted, that's not going to be the crowd at Mania.
Yeah,
you're going to have a very hardcore based crowd here, and if it's John Cena, Roman Reigns here, and both guys get booed.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah, because we know Cena's going to get some boos.
I mean,
you don't want another, Cena-like guy getting boos as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, once again here, it's going to be one because once again, it comes down to, do they want to go for this certain, 3-ring circus again, like last year?
Yeah.
It's going to be harder this year.
Right.
Because if it's Reigns and Cena, at least last year you had two heels then, Batista and Orton. You actually had a reason to have a babyface in there.
Right.
You just turned Batista heel in that. You're not turning Cena heel.
Right.
You're not turning Reigns heel.
Yeah.
So how the hell are you going to get Daniel Bryan inserted into a main event again?
Yeah.
It's the last second. So the Rumble this year, it's simple. You make the right decision. You look at the guys in the roster and you ask the question, who's the fans probably going to buy, who can actually buy as maybe a world champion again? And what storyline wise would make sense in that?
Yeah.
That's just my thoughts there.
Yeah. And as the intro mentions in the show, I mean, even though Daniel Bryan should be entitled to a title shot, it makes sense that since he never lost it, to maybe that he can get back to the top of the ladder here in WWE and get the WWE Championship back. But I mean, we should see what they end up doing there at the Rumble as far as their choice for the winner this year. But yeah, I mean, certainly you don't want two guys who are going to get booed out of the building in your main event at WrestleMania. You don't want another Lesnar and Goldberg at WrestleMania 20 or something like that.
It's not rocket science.
And they're just standing there waiting to,
well,
while the crowd craps on them.
Here's the other problem with Reigns, too. If it's still Brock is still the plan in motion here, I'm starting to believe it's not the plan in motion. I think Brock's going to wrestle at Mania, just maybe not for the belt in his hand. Is that maybe Brock comes off as a baby face in the crowd more than Reigns does in that? Because these are hardcore fans here. They will, try to screw with anybody as much as they can here. They'll do anything to smite Vince McMahon and if they have to in that. So, I mean, once again here, it's good to see what the Rumble is going to be this year. Are they going to do what they did last year? Are they going to stick with their guns, no matter what the reaction's going to be, and go with it And more importantly, they're going to stay committed the whole way. They're going to pull an audible again at the
Yeah.
last second and insert a third guy in here. Like I said, for me, there's only 3 guys that can win the Rumble this year and not get shit on by Philadelphia. Bryan's one.
Brian, yeah.
You can't,
Ambrose.
Ambrose, although
But
he's
not as likely.
He's really the third wheel now,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I've been
yeah.
hearing rumors now that they're really just saving him for that heel turn eventually. So
Yeah, that's what
I mean,
I'm
which is
hearing, too.
fine. That just adds more strength to the heel side and really the face
Yeah.
side, especially with Orton back still pretty solid. But Dolph Ziggler, I think storyline you could make sense too in that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he set out to have a big year here, so. You know.
No, but I mean, especially if it's against Cena, because then you can make
Yeah.
the argument here about, well, John telling you the reason why I lost my job, the reason I got my job back, maybe. Because I'm just assuming there's going to be some stipulation at the main event here where Cena wins. These 2 guys get hired instantly, and all of a sudden, bam, they're in the Rumble match then. And all of a sudden, Dolph wins, and, then all of a sudden you can have this feud here where, it's like, well, technically, you kind of screwed me over and that and blah, blah, blah. Like I said, you could go that feud route maybe if you want to in that. But then again, it all depends if this company actually is that high on Ziggler and they think that this guy can carry a main event, mania in that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, those are 3 guys that I think, storyline-wise, you could have win and not get shit on in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with, the Ziggler one, too. I mean, it's just.
But like I said,
I
my
wouldn't count
belief here is that they're going to stick with Reigns all the way here.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's it's WWE. And,
Because this is not just only David Batista. This is a guy that they really want to bank on for the future.
Right.
And like I said, even though there's a percentage of people that like ourselves that don't like the guy's still kind of getting a reaction still.
Yeah.
As long as he's getting a reaction, it works it great. I think the guy's going to fall flat on his face now. I think he wins the belt, and I think I would be surprised if this guy within a year just falls flat on his face. I would not be surprised.
Maybe he got a bigger reaction if if the writing and the promos here were better, or if they maybe just gave Roman a little more freedom and he could, inject his own ideas.
But again, it doesn't really matter all the same because I projected that 2015 was just going to be another John Cena year anyway.
Yeah.
As far as him getting, probably beating Flair's number of title reigns, as far as him being still the focal point of the program.
Yeah.
Once again, is Reigns really the next big guy if he's not even going to be treated as the next big guy? Can you really say you're the next big guy then?
Right.
So like I said, so at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter in the end. And that even goes as far as if Bryan and Ziggler win. But I think Bryan and Ziggler are fine being number 2 and number 3 babyface.
Yeah.
They're happy as long as they get a reaction to that. And granted, I think when Orton comes back, he'll be booted up to number 2 automatically just because he's Randy Orton.
Yeah.
But that's my thoughts on the matter, pretty much.
Yeah. And then another, important promo you had was the, Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, I guess towards the middle of the show. Of course, they had a contract signing to get to at the end of the show, but
yes.
But no, I mean, Lesnar and Heyman coming out a little early for the, the usual, Paul Heyman spiel there.
Yep.
And and then later on we would see Brock Lesnar backstage a little bit with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins, and kind of the Lesnar talk a little bit here, kind of saying, you call yourself the future of the company, but the future doesn't start until I say it starts. And
It's not rocket science, people.
kind of playing that up a little bit. The triple threat.
I kind of enjoy the fact that they actually had Rollins kind of stand up to Lesnar here.
A little bit, yeah.
Create
a different dynamic here between the 3 guys. I mean, because this is unusual to begin. Lesnar in a triple threat situation is unusual to begin with.
But no. I just brought it up just because of the fact that Rollins kind of has been booked as a chicken shit heel.
Yeah.
And for the fact that he's standing up to a monster in Brock Lesnar
is
actually very surprising, but it's also excellent booking because to me, this guy can play also a cocky heel too in that.
Yeah.
I don't see him been shitting on Rollins promos doing that. To me, I think he's kind of been getting better.
He's been all right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining really too much about it.
I mean, yeah, there are times when during authority promos he'll be out there for like 15, 30 minutes and that. But then I don't think anybody can cut a 15, 30 minute promo without eventually dragging it, to death pretty much. But I think during the contract signing, the way he handled it was not, any different. Which that he was, which would make sense because he is kind of the odd man out here. It feels like he's this new guy.
Right.
He's with Brock, who's this veteran, and he's with Cena, who's the man, pretty much for the last 10 years in that.
Yeah.
Or I guess you now say 11 years now.
2004. Yeah, I guess if you want to go back to like 2004 or 2005.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So I mean, it'd be interesting there. And like I said, I actually like the fact that he actually stood up to Brock here and that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, it does have the dynamic that no, these guys aren't allies. They're really every man for himself in this triple threat coming up.
Yeah, kind of Paul Heyman kind of reminding him like, you don't mess with Brock Lesnar and stuff like that. And I mean, you brought up the contract signing at the end. I mean, then you saw afterwards, eventually things erupted into a bit of an assault as you would normally guess. Of course, somebody had to go through that table that's in there as always.
Of course,
that always happens. And Brock Lesnar was the guy that went through the Cena AAing him after getting German suplexed. Obviously, something that Cena's obviously very used to.
And he just flipped Rollins over pretty much. Although that might have also been Rollins too, because Rollins can just take bumps like crazy pretty much. The guy's, he just he's a hockey puck. He just bounces around anywhere.
Yeah, yeah. And then then after Cena AA's Brock Lesnar, Cena, it's like Cena, wants to pop out the champagne, and then of course
Triple H gets on the apron.
Yeah, and then out of nowhere, and then then Rollins curb stomp Cena. And then Rollins would go on the curb stomp Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's what I noticed there too. Brock kind of sells the curb stomp differently than Cena does, and even really Cena sells it different than any other guys. Really, you notice that Cena when he takes a curb stomp, he kind of stands up a little bit, kind of like so he can kind of
like he's gonna, like he's
but he's kind. I think he does it to kind of like protect the fall kind of more.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of guys usually just stay down and just let Rollins pretty much just get on their back and just shove him to the mat, pretty much. Did you ever notice that?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean,
I never noticed it here because I'm like, see, he's kind of like standing up. And I really thought, okay, hey, so I'm like, wait, that's actually how he sells the curb stomp.
Yeah,
He kind of stands up slightly a bit. Unlike Brock here, that's kind of like he's staying flat, kind of, and just like Rollins for just gonna top him and just knock him down.
Yeah, but nevertheless, an interesting ending there. I guess,
once again, some people would say, well, technically, you need, Cena looks kind of like pathetic again for another week. I'm like, okay, he'll probably bounce back. It's John Cena, kind of, he's pretty much untouchable.
Yeah,
some people probably say, well, maybe Brock should have looked like a beast. But he kind of did in the beginning there. He German suplexed both of these guys very viciously in the beginning. But at the same time, who's the third guy that just got added here? That's kind of the odd man out right now. It's Rollins.
Yeah.
So
a wild card guy.
Yeah. Well, he even said, like, hey, I can win this match really two ways: Plan A or Plan B.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he was not denying that. Hey, technically, you guys could win.
Yeah.
But I can still cash in at the end.
And Cena kind of saying, "Hey, Brock, you don't have to get pinned to lose the belt and everything, but I'm going to pin you anyways." And I don't know, or we're going to take down Seth Rollins first, and then I'm going to take you down, Brock, or I don't know, something like that.
But I think it also shows that even though Brock and Paul Heyman are kind of heels in that, they're not really part of the authority. I think that so you kind of show that up as well.
Right, to make the difference.
At the end of the day, the authority really wants Rollins with the belt in their hand, and it could happen. I would not be surprised if Rollins, like I said, wins and has the belt made to a fast lane, the February paper, and then just drops it probably to John Cena.
Yeah,
or maybe Brock again or something like that. Once again, this is the main event. I think we've seen Rollins at it. It's more intrigued. It has more intrigue to it. Granted, I think Rollins also might just take the pinfall just because, well, we can't have Cena take the pinfall again. We don't want to have Brock take the pinfall.
Yeah, that's the thing about this match. Like Brock can't really take the pinfall because he still has that whole thing. Like he hasn't been pinned since
Taker.
Before he's ever since he beat Taker, hasn't been pinned, and it's kind of like the Rusev theory here.
Yeah.
He can be like laying outside of the ring and Cena pins Rollins or vice versa. Yeah. But to keep Lesnar strong, I guess I'm thinking maybe this is an out.
Speaking of Rusev though, How stupid was that Dean Ambrose Rusev finish?
Yeah, with the refs, like, you know,
Well,
like
first of
like,
all,
oh, he can't
Dean.
walk. So let's call it a match, you know.
Well, first of all, Dean's like begging the ref to help him.
Yeah.
Which, first of all, I'm pretty sure you can't do.
Yeah.
And then he's like bitching at the ref for stopping the fight, even though he's like asking the ref to help him get out of a spot in that. Like, but what were your thoughts on how Dean Ambrose like backstage
The
saying
shriek things.
Shriek thing.
You know, they're kind of typical funny Dean Ambrose, I guess. You know, I mean, it
Did
wasn't.
it really help him stand out?
It wasn't
though?
great. I mean, it wasn't great, but I mean, you know, it had its moments.
Compared to the other Shield brethren, did it really like make him like look like anywhere near as good as these guys did? I mean, Rollins easily like the best guy tonight.
Well, yeah. But
easily.
Then again, I mean, he's the champion and he's the authority's, you know.
Well, he's the authority's champion. He's not the champion,
right? Though. Well, the authority, the Mr. Money in the Bank and possibly, you know, future champion.
He's kind of the corporate guy. He's
the corporate guy.
He's kind of corporate. He's kind of like playing the role of The Rock, pretty much.
Right. Yeah.
Minus a Stone Cold Steve Austin right now. I guess John Cena's trying his best to be anti-authority in that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was just, you know, typical. I mean, it wasn't great, but you know, couple
like I said,
in there with Dean Ambrose.
All we have is 1 week left.
Yeah, I mean,
there's only 2 matches confirmed so far. Grant. Last year's Rumble only had 4 matches.
Yeah,
and I think the following year even only had 4. So because the Rumble usually takes about an hour.
Yeah,
and that's not even including the entrances. Sometimes that can be over. It can be over an hour if you include the entrances, especially the first 2. Oh, by the way, Macho Man's induction as well.
Yeah, they announced that
officially.
That's the first in the Hall of Fame class. So yeah, we'll see who else they get, who else they're gonna decide to induct. As we head up to the induction right around WrestleMania time.
I'm just gonna guess. Hopefully, Demolition, since they had to have the Ascension bring these guys up on the microphone at one point.
Yeah, they were saying how the Ascension, that they think they're already Hall of Famers. The commentary, and yeah, I mean,
I here's the thing there too. JBL, who's supposed to be this heel commentator,
yeah,
usually means he sides with the heels. He's the guy burying these guys the most on commentary as jokes. Oh, look at this guy that's being up. He's barely looks like he can, you know, he's like 150 pounds in that, you know. And I'm just like, how is the Ascension going to get over if JBL's burying these guys as nobodies?
Yeah, that's the irony of that, I guess. But it's I don't know. It's like sometimes he does what he wants to do.
Oh, but by the way, thoughts on the new now permanent Raw commentary team?
Oh yeah, with Booker T. I was a little surprised about it. I mean, now Jerry Lawler's doing SmackDown. They say
he's going to be doing a Thursday night.
That's
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
That's the debut. Give it 1, 2, 3 shows to give a shit about SmackDown again, and then it's going to go back to being nobody really gives a crap about the show anymore.
That's I mean, that's weird though. I mean, like 1 week, you know, Lawler is sick or whatever. He's got to miss it. They put Booker T out there, and then it's like, all right.
Supposedly they wanted to do this for a long time. They just never.
They just didn't do it. You know.
Well, supposedly the heart attack played a factor in it at one point, but they always wanted to move Lawler to SmackDown at some point. I think Brian Saxton also was joining commentary as well. Try to think who was the third guy before Saxton though. Originally it was JBL, Cole, and this other guy. Tom Phillips. Feel bad for Tom Phillips, but he was only on maybe announcing for SmackDown maybe for 2 months maybe before they decided to axe him for Brian Saxton. Yeah. So nope. So we have a new announce team now. I don't know. I think Booker T. Not saying he's this announce team announcing is great.
Yeah.
Booker, I think, is an improvement from Jerry.
Yeah, I think at this stage of the game, I would agree with that.
He came across more likable than Jerry did.
Yeah.
Which I feel bad for SmackDown now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with the change. It was just a little surprised, I guess. You know, kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, I take it then, since we have, and I'm just even shocked even that they're going for both shows to be cut through the announcers now.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, for me, I think 2 is just fine in that. I think you can do a fine show of just two guys in that, but. And like I said, I also know a lot of people just still bitching on that's Michael Cole and there's still this focal point. It's like
in the middle.
Who else are you gonna go with? Who else
Yeah,
in the
the
announce team are you gonna go with here?
Yeah.
That has the experience right now of Michael Cole here to do announcing.
Yeah.
Like you're not, he's the next focal point pretty much.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't get the complaint. Some of the complaints people. Like
Because he's
we
filling
said,
in for
Yeah.
for JR.
Like
He's filling
yeah.
in for
like a few weeks ago when we were talking about that, but
I love JR too, but and
Yeah, I mean-
his style and announcing probably would never ever be duplicated again in that.
yeah.
But it's like I would say Cole's bad. I think it has a lot to do with who the crazy 70-year-old man
Yeah.
feeding whatever into his microphone headset. Pretty much that's the thing I really can't stand. But I'm not gonna go and shit on Michael Cole in that because the guy's definitely busted
Yeah.
his ass off in the company for so long.
Yeah. I think he does a good job. I don't. People want JR or whatever. I don't know, but you can't.
Don't on there. JR, besides announcing, he was head of talent relations at one point.
Yeah.
He brought in a lot of big guys. He's the guy that recruited Edge for crying out loud in development. So the guy's definitely. I think the Hardy Boys too in that at one point. So the guy's actually. You look at his list of, accomplishments in the company. JR's definitely done a shitload in that.
Yeah.
And like I said, Cole's definitely been doing a lot as well in that, but I wouldn't say as much as JR has in that. But still, it's different, but I wouldn't say he's bad the way he does.
Yeah.
I think the only time it really got really bad was when he was starting to really push that whole heel gimmick maybe too much.
Yeah, and then I think they kind of realized it was kind of silly, and they pulled back on.
No. What happened, Tyler, was Jerry Lawler had a heart attack and Michael called the break character.
Oh yeah, that.
And once that went out the window, there you couldn't really have him, make fat jokes at Lawler anymore or anything like that. You couldn't like have him do that, anymore. Especially when he's almost getting in tears because he might have just saw his best buddy, his best friend die maybe in front of him in that.
Yeah.
So. And like I said, even Cole joked about announcing there where he even talked to Jerry as Mosey in the hospital after he finally recovered in that, and just saying, hey, guess what though? I think you just killed my heel gimmick just like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you want to hear the real Michael Cole. There's a great one on that Sam Roberts did, talking about his heel character, the Jerry Lawler heart attack when he first put on his wrestling gear for Mania.
Yeah.
How the first two guys who saw it were John Cena and Undertaker, and Cena just started laughing, and Undertaker just had his eyes rolled back, and the guy just what does this business come to?
Yeah.
And then Cole was saying well, thanks guys, yeah. I feel great.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's also been some other reports out there of them possibly splitting the brand, the brands up again a little bit.
A soft brand split.
A soft brand,
whatever the hell that means.
Yeah.
Soft brand split.
Yeah, or I guess some guys are only going to be on SmackDown and some are on Raw. I guess we'll see if we notice.
They don't even know what a brand split is. The original brand split wasn't really a real brand split. It was almost the same writers, same producers.
Yeah.
The rosters there. It's pretty much the same creative minds though in both brands.
Yeah.
And did really SmackDown and Raw ever feel like competition with each other?
Yeah, I guess maybe in terms of superstars being on one brand in the other, and
I'm not buying it, especially right now with a thin roster.
Yeah, I mean that's
how can you do it?
There's only a couple major heels right now, and you take Brock Lesnar out of that picture after WrestleMania, and there's it's nobody.
I mean, or do they mean soft brand split in that certain talents because just going to be pretty much wrestling for SmackDown?
Yeah,
and certain times because you're wrestling for Raw and that.
Yeah.
Like how John Cena all of a sudden just cannot be on SmackDown anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because he's
it's kind of almost like when Survivor Series, the only members of Team Cena that were on SmackDown were his 4 teammates, not John Cena. And of course, at the end, they get their ass kicked by Team Authority because it's 5-on-4. And WWE does not even acknowledge why John Cena is not even in the building with SmackDown. I guess besides the fact that it's SmackDown, dude. It's not Raw.
Yeah.
It's the B show.
Yeah.
No one wants to go on SmackDown.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's that's the thing too. I mean, SmackDown right now especially has been, so on a different level than Raw has been. It's been on a lower level than Raw has been for a while now.
Like I said, this Thursday's, because it's the first one, it'll be an important show.
Yeah.
It'll be an important show. Maybe the second show will, maybe even the third show.
Yeah.
After that, not I could be that important.
Right. Yeah.
It's gonna go the same stint as main event did. Remember main event when the debut on Ion?
Yeah.
The main event was Sheamus versus Punk, and we both were world champions at the time.
Yeah.
And then what happened? It just turned to mid-Carter, 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 mid-Carter.
Right.
I think even Superstars went the same route too. Like the first show was like,
Yeah.
the Undertaker gets Matt Hardy in that, like in a match, and all of a sudden it was mid-Carter, 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 mid-Carter,
Yeah.
and even lower card guys that you like knew existed in the company still.
Yeah.
So I mean, once again, give it 3 weeks tops, and all of a sudden
Yeah,
SmackDown goes
same.
back to not even caring. There's
Yeah.
only one show they give a shit about on this company, and it's Raw.
Yeah.
So I heard soft brand split. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah. And even then, sometimes it seems like they don't care much about Raw, at least for a lot of the minutes out of it. But
Mhm.
but no, at least this week they had a lot of important things, I guess you could say, as
Yes.
far as promos and personnel involved. But yeah, I mean they have next week's Raw. Then that's basically it. A couple Smackdowns here. I don't know. Maybe we'll see if they have any more Roman Reigns, succotash promos or whatever on SmackDown and whatever else. But yeah, I mean I wouldn't expect really too much else except for on Raw. Now considering they had the contract signing
Yeah.
2 weeks, I guess the second Raw before the show, the Royal Rumble, then next week I don't know what to expect. I mean, maybe Brock Lesnar won't be on next week. Who knows? Considering they already had the contract signing.
Yes.
So, but I guess we'll see what happens. I would imagine, Cena's got to look strong.
But guess who will be on
weeks.
Raw, Tyler? Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Ric Flair will be on
Yeah.
Raw.
Yeah, kind of fun. Like 3 of those guys, of course, were on that Legends panel back in like September
Yes.
when Lesnar was having the and Cena were gonna have the rematch and.
One name
So-
missing that was advertised originally back in the day, a few weeks ago. Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Of course, he's having legal problems right now.
Yeah.
That story, damn.
Yeah.
On Christmas Eve, nevertheless, too, it happened.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. So Kevin Nash not going to be there. So I guess he scrapped the whole NWO reunion they wanted to do again, which
Yeah.
I'm fine with. I don't need to see the NWO come out anymore.
Yeah.
I really don't. I don't need to see it happen anymore.
Yeah. I mean. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Kevin Nash comes out with his.
Maybe
now
Sting finally
white
shows
hair.
up again.
Yeah.
He's got to show up eventually. They only got 10 weeks till Mania.
Yeah.
10
Yeah,
weeks
but-
time when the Mania happens. So they got to start doing something here for Sting.
Yeah. The countdown's beginning. So yeah. Well, I guess we'll see what happens next week on Raw. I mean, again, I mean, I wouldn't. I probably would not expect Lesnar on. And I would probably expect Cena to look strong. I guess since he's been looking a little weak the past couple of weeks. So, but yeah, I guess other than
Like I
that,
said, right now, probably my favorite to win the match right now is John Cena.
yeah,
He's kind of the safe bet right now.
yeah,
But like I said, I would not be surprised if Rollins cashes and wins the belt at Rumble, but then drops it at like the next pay-per-view before Mania.
yeah,
I'd be even more shocked if Rollins is the guy who all of a sudden say, "We're gonna give Rollins the main event of Mania."
yeah,
Him and Reigns gonna have a Shield implosion happen.
yeah. That would, I wouldn't complain about that. I guess, but yeah, I guess that still remains to be seen, and I guess we'll save our predictions. I guess for next week, maybe when we have the entire card, hopefully together. Maybe with some more matches on it, but
Probably 2 more at the tops.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go with a Divas match.
Probably, yeah,
Probably gonna be
probably,
a Divas
yeah.
match and maybe a tag team
Yeah.
match, probably.
yeah, probably maybe a tag match.
And it's probably gonna be a pre-show match too.
Yeah,
That's about it.
So maybe the New Day, and as far as a pre-show as prediction for that, I don't know. We'll see, but yeah, whoever's in those matches, I would assume will probably be in the Royal Rumble anyway. So they got to fill the spots in the Royal Rumble. So.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess until then, I guess that's all we have for today on the Great Wrestling Debate. So thanks for tuning in as always, and stay tuned for next week for our Royal Rumble predictions. And send your comments or whatever, your subscription to this channel. Until next week, thanks for tuning in.